Hey YouTube, Prometheus13 here. Got another video for you today. So, I was thinking I am constantly hearing blasphemy put on Zoro's name, man. Just constant blasphemy. All right. Now, I'll have to explain it like this first. All right. So before any person who may watch this, may immediately assume from that statement on that I am a Zoro fanboy. That is not 100% accurate. More accurately, I would depict myself as a Straw Hat fanboy. Okay, I respect and support the endeavors of all of my crew. Okay, but Zoro in particular, I feel like people don't appreciate the shine that this dude has. All right, like I don't think people appreciate the level of reserves that this dude has been keeping. Okay, now I was watching some other YouTuber. We were watching I was watching a video, and at some point someone said there's no way that Zoro can behead Kaido. Now before anybody wants to make this into a debate about if Zoro could behead Kaido, I'm merely stating this one supportive argument. You cannot say in your argument that Zoro is not powerful enough. That can never come out because one, Zoro is one of the very few Straw Hats who we have no idea what their powers like post time skip. Post time skip, Zoro has never tested his abilities like any of the other Straw Hats. I would say Zoro, Robin. I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but a Frankie, and as odd as this is also going to sound, Chopper. I think that we haven't got to see 100% of the fruits of their labor after the time skip. Okay, we've showcased obviously some new abilities going in post time skip from pre time skip, and with it being said, the constant thing that is always said is that Zoro and Luffy were neck and neck pre time skip, and what happened post time skip. Luffy is immediately put in a slot above Zoro, and I honestly have never understood why. I mean, again, these two were on equal ground, and Luffy shows out obviously every single arc, every single chapter. You know what I mean? If Luffy's on screen, he's there to show out. And as much as I get that, that could not be the basis of a claim to say that he has risen so much greater than Zoro when they were equal in strength, and we haven't got to see Zoro's strength at all. So the main point of this video is just to say I myself, no debate, just my own personal opinion, feel that it is not unrealistic for Zoro to be able to take Kaido's head, especially in an unnerfed battle, because it is a constant. Any person who wants to talk anything Zoro has to concede the point that Zoro is constantly nerfed from volume number 2 or 3. He is nerfed. He is completely and totally nerfed. No, actually, scratch that. I would say from the moment that he's put on camera. Like, I don't know what I'm even talking about, man. The moment this man's put on camera, he is nerfed, all right? Starved for, how many days? Not even pulling it off the shelf. It's something stupid, because he was supposed to spend a month there, and he made it most of the time, starving. And still was able to get his blades back and do work with our boy Monkey D. Luffy. Now, with that being said, this is, again, as I said, not a debate over, what I think Zoro's going to do end of Wano. But, after I just recently watched the most recent, episode for the anime, and, it was the Zoro and Kamazo the Manslayer fight, our boy Killer, and, I myself just feel that when you watch the anime, you get a decent choreograph of how Zoro is fighting. All right. Now I try to talk slowly so that I can pick my words as best as as it would reflect what I'm trying to get across, but this is what I mean. I think that we get to see firsthand, instead of going panel for panel, going moment for moment, that Zoro has a lot more time to think than most of the other Straw Hats when it comes to being in the heat of a traded blow for blow battle. And I'm sorry, just with to say that Zoro is at that level where he's constantly playing a very intricate chess game where he's 10 to 15 moves ahead. You watch that exchange between him and Kamazo, and it's just ridiculous. Like, I know I watched Roger's Space, and he pointed out that when Zoro took that scythe, he took it to the shoulder, he like flexed his muscles around the blade. And I just want to point out that right before that, you can tell that he took the step. He could have put his blade up to block the scythe from stabbing him, but it's very, 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 very subtle. But Zoro says, I seem to be missing something. And at first you could think the context is like he doesn't understand the scenario or the situation. But that's not at all what he's saying. He's saying that the strength that he needs, that he has gained from his, endeavors in training, have taught him that he has much more power with 3 blades than with 2. And I think, according to the ridiculous level of strength that Zoro has, he uses that to purposely nerf himself outside of Oda. He uses 1 sword style for the super weaklings who aren't even worth his time, 2 sword style people who are just fodder, you know what I mean? And then 3 sword style when that dude is a respectable opponent. Doesn't even have to be on par with Zoro's power, but a respectable opponent. And I don't want to get into a toxic power scaling conversation, battle, debate, whatever you want to call it, but the point in Light is that you can't power scale in One Piece the same way that you would power scale in, for say, we'll use a staple, Dragon Ball Z. Okay, those power levels, they just don't compute. Like Dragon Ball Z even kind of shows you what Ichiro Oda does so intricately to explain to you that sometimes it does not matter if you were, say, the strongest man in the world. Okay, sometimes if somebody can out-strategize you, if they can outflank you, if they can outmaneuver you, then you still lose, no matter your strength. Dragon Ball Z has that occasionally, but that's pretty much what the entirety of One Piece and One Piece battles are about strategy. And it's so subtle, because it's not how Luffy, obviously, like, you watch it and that's not 100% easy to see, but that's all Luffy's character is about. Like, that's all he does. He spends so much time not in a serious battle mode, but constantly strategizing. Kind of like, I've always pondered it like, Garp trying to make the perfect Marine made this dude a monster strategist, but it's just the kid who never wanted to do what his grandpa wanted to do. So he got really, really good at what he was being forced into, but just would never take it super seriously. That's how I've always viewed Luffy's character, and that's why he wants to be a pirate, the most freedom. And, we're not getting into a conversation on that because I've been saying, a couple videos ago, I've been saying Luffy videos coming, and it is. I'm taking some time to be able to point out some things about Luffy that I feel, I've always wanted to expand on when I've heard other people, that talked about it. With that being said, I'm not going to drag this video on. The whole point of this video is give Zoro some respect. This is the arc. If you want to talk, I'm going to swear, so if you were a child, I'm sorry, but if you want to talk shit on Zoro, you wait until after this arc. If he doesn't do anything at the end of this arc, then you talk all the shit that you want, okay? But this, again, I support so many other YouTubers' beliefs that this is Zoro's arc. This is his arc where he is set up to shine. He is a samurai, and I am a wholehearted believer that, this is going to fully flesh out Zoro's backstory for us, more than we already have. I have always supported the thought that not only is he a descendant of Ryuma, but that inheriting Sushui was pretty much just something that was always supposed to happen. Like, you know, Thriller Bark, like, it's kind of like the same thing with Brook says with, you know, Luffy was just born under a certain set of lucky stars. And those same set of lucky stars, you know, ensured Shisui would come into the play of that particular intricate web that's weaved. And with that being said, you know, I don't, obviously Oda knows the story the best, so like I'm obviously just headcanon in this, but at the same point in time, I've always viewed it as if that the whole point of Zoro accepting Enma and taking Enma is for him to not only slay Kaido and make that blade into a black blade, but also make everyone aware of the feats that this man is capable of, that earns him that sword. That earns him that sword. And you know, it's, you know, there's the argument that you could go in where he fought Ryuma's corpse, you know what I mean, that was animated by Brook's shadow. And you know, we do know there are a few things that we do know, you know, that could help your speculation. The one thing that we do know is that the corpse itself gains personality traits of the person who shadow was put into said body. Now, with that being said, however, there is an aspect to Moria's fruit where the body, the better the body, the more, let's say, we'll call it residues left over. So the more of that personality, that person's personality is actually still kind of there. So whereas the personality, half of it, it's ridiculously stupid to sound like, it's like how when you're a parent and you have children, that, you know, half of the DNA is coming from one side and the other half of the DNA is coming from the other side. It's kind of a similar circumstance. So as much as, you know, Ryuma that Zoro fought was as much Brook as it was Ryuma, I still think that, you know, that's a valid argument for why he earned that blade. And I think that him taking Enma and making it into a black blade in this arc, as well as slaying an Eastern Dragon, will earn him the respect necessary for him to be able to take back and claim Wano's treasure. And I say that because, again, we've seen with Wado Ichimoji, obviously, despite how the Shimotsuki felt about burying a person with that blade, there was also a specific amount of respect held for passing a blade through a family line, you know, allowing the spirit of that blade to protect them. I mean, it's all going to be super interesting. Again, I'm not dragging this video on any more than I have to, but I believe Zoro will take Kaido's head in this arc, and I cannot make any kind of argument to make you understand that that is most likely where this is going. I know that so many people are upset about that, and I'm sorry. But there's just too much definitive proof, man. Just too much definitive proof that, you know, showed that that's what the foreshadowing's taking. That's where the foreshadow's taking us. The foreshadowing is taking us there. Well, everybody, I hope you liked the video. Drop a like if you could. Get some subscribes. If you didn't like the video, you know, dislike. Never watch again. It's fine. Everyone have a fantastic day. I am out.